The opinions, views, and beliefs expressed are those of our guest speakers and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Mindful Trinity or the policies of the company thereof. The content of the show does not constitute any legal or medical advice and is provided for the general insight and guidance. If you require specific legal, medical, or any professional advice, you should contact a specialist or a qualified practitioner. Please note, Mindful Trinity is a non-religious, non-sectarian organization, and we are not affiliated to any religious organization. In life, there'll be so many people that offend you. And if you take every single offense to heart, you will drive yourself insane. All of us are fighting some sort of battle. Every day is a battle, whether it's an internal battle or an external battle. But everyone is fighting some sort of battle. But when we take care of this, our mind, we're on our way to, survive. Because it all starts here. Then it manifests into the body. That's how people start experiencing gut issues and other ailments of the body. Hi everybody, welcome to Mindful Trinity. I'm your host Vaishnavi Charan. So on today's episode, we are going to be doing something slightly different. We are going on a journey within, getting to know ourselves better and understanding ourselves better. We spend majority of our time with ourselves, so it's best that we understand ourselves better. Let's take this opportunity to get relaxed. Take a comfortable seat. If you have back issues, you can always rest your back against the wall, so the wall is your guide in alignment. And if you I hope you are doing much better, feeling more relaxed, feeling more free. And if you haven't set your intention for yourselves as yet, please do so now. You can bring both hands together. Over the heart center, you can be placing your hands in a prayer mudra. These are just hand gestures, and we're going to speak with intention. Bowing down towards the heart, offering gratitude towards yourself for making it onto your mat, onto your seat, and giving this time for yourselves, because this is actually a gift to yourself, for yourself. And bringing both your palms in prayer towards your mouth, and only speaking words of kindness, words of love, words with good intention over yourselves and over other people in your life. Bringing the hands to your third eye and offering a prayer of gratitude towards yourself once again, and only thinking positive thoughts for yourselves and for others. Bringing your hands back to your heart center and only releasing love, goodness into the world. The mind, the body, and the soul. So basically, your mind is connected to your consciousness, which is situated in the heart center. And slowly coming out of it. So hopefully you are feeling much better. I know I am. Again, thank you so much for taking the time for coming onto this podcast session today, and I hope you benefit from it as well. So most of you have been listening to my podcast from the inception, when I used to do it live on Facebook, and I'm very grateful to all of you for that. And you may be aware that I take most of my knowledge from ancient Vedic texts such as the Bhagavad Gita and so forth, and also other philosophies such as NLP. For those of you that are unaware what NLP is, the acronym NLP basically means Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And in a nutshell, Neuro-Linguistic Programming is a way of changing people's thoughts and behaviors to help them achieve their desired outcomes. It is very difficult as we get older to change our thoughts and our behaviors, because most of us are set in our ways. But if you're willing to change those things that are weighing you down, research them, associate with like-minded people, and practice every day, you're on your way to making a very big change in your life, which will help you in the long run. So we are going to be speaking today more specifically on two different types of people. the flexible-minded person compared to the inflexible-minded person. So this is a good time for you to get a book and pen, because we are going to be taking down notes, getting to know ourselves better, like I said. And none of us are perfect. All of us have our faults. But when we acknowledge those faults and we work on them to better ourselves in order to be better for society, to help society, it's the best gift that you can ever give to yourself and give to society in general. So I'm going to be, maybe what you can do is fold your page in equal halves. I'm going to show you how you're going to do it. You got a book. Okay, those of you that are watching this on YouTube, so you can actually see, you're going to fold it in an equal half. So then you're going to, on one side, you're going to jot down flexible mind, and in brackets put abstract. And on the next section, you're going to be putting inflexible mind, and in brackets, you're going to be putting concrete. And I'm going to demonstrate for those of you that are going to be watching it on YouTube, then you can actually see. For those of you that are listening on other podcast channels, you can just listen attentively, and you can always go to the YouTube channel thereafter and watch it to get more of a deeper understanding. But I'll try my best to speak clearly so all of you understand. A flexible-minded person is, the words flexible can explain for itself. You take this tissues, you can actually bend it in any direction. So it's flexible. Okay, it's flexible. But if you take something that is more hard, I'm using my phone here, and you cannot bend it in any direction, that makes it inflexible. You're going to be putting yourself in the situation to get to know yourselves better. And like I said, whichever category you fall under, you don't let that go to your head. If you're finding that you are inflexible, you do not be hard on yourself. You just take the necessary steps how you can overcome that, how you can learn from it. Because in every situation, we have an opportunity to learn and also an opportunity to reinvent ourselves. And if you find yourself to be flexible-minded, don't let that get to your head as well. It can grow your ego, and that is actually not good for your spiritual growth. Flexible-minded person is someone that strives to maintain an open mind. So in simpler terms, a person with an open mind, they are not set in their ways. Maybe they are doing something a certain way and they've always been doing it that way. But someone new comes to them and tell them there's a better way to do it, because maybe it'll save you time and it'll give you more time to do other things as well. A flexible-minded person is open-minded, and he will say, yes, I'm open to learning something new. If it'll save me more time, then definitely I'm open to learn. An inflexible-minded person, on the other hand, they are set in their ways, and they believe that their perspective is the only way and there's no other way. So they reached a level in their life that there's no other growth opportunities, because they feel like their way is the only way and there's no other way. It can be dangerous, especially, if you're doing something that takes maybe the entire day, but if someone comes with a different idea, telling you, you know what, I can teach you to do this within an hour or even less, you'll definitely take it, and I will definitely take it. But again, like I said, everyone are set in their own way and you will know what's best for you. Yeah, it's actually very good to do the self evaluation to get to know how you're doing and what can you do differently in order to save time as well. A flexible minded person says, I'm open to new ideas and perspectives. Just like that. They are open to learn. And the inflexible minded person says, I must be right all the time. And none of us are right all the time. I know me, for one, I'm a student of life. I could have a qualification in a certain thing, but I still don't know everything. And I'm constantly learning from other learned personalities so that I can increase my knowledge and I can be there for my community. Again, the flexibly minded person says that there are many truths out there, truths beyond their experience, and has been proven by a scientific method. In a nutshell, this means that he believes that there are many teachers out there, there are many thought leaders out there, people that he can learn from, and he doesn't know everything. So it's something to think about. And when you're actually learning from various schools of thought, you actually know when something makes sense. And I know when I'm reading, it becomes so exciting because as I'm reading, I'm learning even more, and I cannot wait to learn even more because I know there's an ocean of knowledge out there, and I'm hungry for knowledge, and that is why I'm forever learning. Then the inflexible minded person says, I am not interested in hearing anything that contradicts my opinions, beliefs, or current worldviews. Again, they are set in the ways, and they believe that there's no other way. Their truth is their truth, and again, you cannot disturb their peace unless they are willing to make a change. So it's also, I think for us as individual personalities, when someone does not want to be told anything new, doesn't want to learn, you need to respect that and leave them. If and when they are ready to learn something new, they will actually contact you. Maybe they are proud and they don't want to learn because, like I said, they feel like they know everything. And that's also okay because all of us are free to be whoever we choose to be. When we have the flexible minded again, it strives not to make harsh assumptions. From my personal experience, I've learned that making harsh assumptions is not very good for our own growth. We need to be patient with ourselves and learn instead of just assuming without even knowing. And the inflexible minded says, I reject ideas that I disagree with or dislike. So this person feels if these ideas weren't made by him, he will just reject it. And if he dislikes it, he will reject it. So, yeah, I don't need to explain any further on that one. The flexible minded person says, I listen carefully, I listen actively to understand people. You know, we live in a society right now whereby everything is fast paced. And when we listen or when we're having a conversation with another person, a lot of the times, because maybe we are rushing and we don't have time, and this person is maybe taking his time to get his point across, you may cut this person off and just try to complete their sentences. But maybe they're not even trying to say what you are uttering. So it's always good to be patient, listen attentively. Don't just listen to respond. Because sometimes you'll be listening to what you want to listen or what you want to hear. So always be patient, because some people out there, all of us have our own issues that we are dealing with. None of us are perfect. We're here on this material planet. This material planet is a school, and we are having lessons every day. And if you do not learn the lesson, it always repeats itself. Maybe with a different person at a different time in your life. So you can't even run away. Just learn the lesson. And that is why I try my utmost best to listen. This world needs more listeners. We have many speakers. Some people are professional speakers, but we need more professional listeners. I am trying to be a professional listener. And it is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. But we learn, be honest. And this journey will be amazing. We'll have our hardships now and again. But it's okay. It's just stepping stones to get to where we are heading. But self-evaluation is essential for your growth. At least when you're on this journey, ask yourself certain questions. How am I doing? How are my relationships? I had a 3-day seminar with His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami last year. And we did a workbook together for the attendees. And one of the things he asked, the question that he actually put together for the workbook, how are my relationships? Because sometimes when we have relationships with people, sometimes we may have a fallout, but we don't know what happened, what provoked the situation. Is there a way that we could, work on the situation, overcome it? And that is why this internal self-reflection is so essential for our own growth. And the inflexible minded person says, I listen only to have my views validated. Well, for me, I just feel that is very selfish. You cannot only listen or speak because you feel you know everything. Even the most intelligent person in this world doesn't know everything. And I always feel the best teacher are those that are always learning. The best teacher is the best student. The flexible minded says, I allow time to reflect upon new ideas that I don't immediately understand. And like I said, it's very healthy to take time out for yourself. I contracted COVID last year. And during that time, I felt it was a blessing in disguise because I had more time for myself. I was writing more. Yeah, I was journaling every day. And, we live in a fast-paced world, like I said, and we don't make time for ourselves. We make time for others, but to make time for ourselves, it's very difficult at times. So I was very grateful for that time. I practiced more gratitude. I just focused on my internal self, healing from the inside out. And I guess that was one of the best moments in my life because I got to know my strengths much more better. And the weaknesses, I tried to work on that. All of us have weaknesses. I tried not to go onto social media so often as I used to, because at that time, during the crux of the pandemic, users of social media were sharing more negativity, more fear of the pandemic. And I didn't want to allow fear to take over my life. I just wanted to have positivity to grow so that I can overcome this very weird disease that just took over the world. And the inflexible minded person says, I am offended when people or things don't meet my expectations, as all things must serve to appease me. And this is also very dangerous, because in life there'll be so many people that offend you. And if you take every single offense to heart, you will drive yourself insane. All of us are fighting some sort of battle. Every day is a battle, whether it's an internal battle or an external battle. But everyone is fighting some sort of battle. But when we take care of this, our mind, we're on our way to, survive. Because it all starts here. Then it manifests into the body. That's how people start experiencing gut issues and other ailments of the body. Many months ago, I spoke to a doctor. I also interviewed him on my podcast. And he said something that made sense to me, and it was a wow moment as well, because I always thought that it was just people in the health and wellness field, that the natural field of health and wellness, they would say that the body has a tendency to heal on its own. But he also mentioned that. But we just need to rest. And when we rest, the body does heal. Resting doesn't mean having a busy mind. You need to rest that mind. Shut down for a few moments. And that is why during yoga, during the Shavasana posture, a lot of us actually fall off to sleep on the mat. I'm guilty of it. I slept on the mat for quite a few sessions. And it feels like you're sleeping for the entire night. 5 minutes can feel like it's an eternity, which is good. Rest is good, because sometimes when we asleep at night, we're not really sleeping. We are thinking about so many things at the same time. So yeah, Shavasana is also a very good way of resting. Yoga is a natural way of healing the body. And the last two, a flexible minded person will say, I let people finish speaking before I judge them or make a conclusion. And again, I think it is human nature. All of us are guilty of this at some point in our lives, where we actually judge people without even knowing them. And I always tell myself to take a step back. None of us are perfect. Understand what the person is going through before even saying anything. And if you don't know a person, if you don't know them intimately, you don't have any right to tell anything about them. And if you are not helping somebody, do not speak about them. In other words, do not gossip about them. Only speak if you are helping that person. Do not be negative to another person, because it will definitely come back to you. If you know about the law of karma, which is a different topic altogether, it will definitely come back to you. Whatever you put out there, it comes back to you. So always be kind, be loving, give those beautiful words, attract that same beautiful words to yourself. The inflexible minded, I would rather prove other people to be wrong than have my worldview expanded. Now, for me, this just tells me that it will take a lot of my energy. It is not my business to even prove the next person to be wrong. Why should I? I always allow people to be their own selves. especially if I'm involved and if they think of me in a certain way. I rather leave them to be thinking of me in that way than proving to be right. This world, our life on this earth is short, and none of us know what role each person plays into our life until that person is gone. It could be maybe they left this world, or their friendship or the relationship with you is over. But it's not your business to even prove that person to be wrong. Just let it go, take the lesson out of it, and move on. And there's lessons in every situation that we go through. I'll tell you a small story. Many years ago, I was living in Johannesburg, which is a different city here in South Africa. And at that time, I moved back to Johannesburg. I was living in Johannesburg before I came back to Durban, then I moved back to Joburg again. And I found a place that I liked, because before that I was boarding with other people and I wanted my independence. I wanted to live alone. So I found a place and I paid my deposit for this property. I was so excited. I was already planning my future, all the things that I want to buy, and my alone time. Rent in Johannesburg is very expensive compared to Durban. So I worked so hard and I had my deposit, I had my month's rent and all of that. But something within me was telling me, you know what? This is too good to be true. But when you make decisions out of emotion, and when you feel something is too good to be true, it is too good to be true. And because I made this decision with emotion, I was shot in the foot. I was scammed. So all the money that I put in for this property was taken away from me. And money is energy. In our culture, we say money is Lakshmi. And yeah, so that money was taken away from me. I was so depressed. I was crying. I couldn't get out of bed because I worked so hard for that money and it was taken away from me. And what can I do? I can't get it back. The police didn't do anything. Up till today, they never took my statement. Was I going to be spending my energy and my time trying to track these people down? Because I don't know who they were. And when you're scammed, you're actually a victim. But I told myself I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to be a victor from this, and I'm going to take the lesson out of it. And I did take the lesson out of it, not to repeat it again. And I told other people as well, so they don't repeat it. And during that time, I read a book. It is called The Teachings of Queen Kunti. And I promise you, that book was a blessing in disguise for me. It came at the perfect time. I was praying for no problems. And yeah, I had such a huge problem. And she prayed for more problems because she can remember God. I'm not saying that we all should be, praying for problems. I'm just saying she is a queen, a person of high stature, and she prayed for problems so she can remain mindful of God. Always keep Him in a mind and in her thoughts. And I just thought, gosh, this is an opportunity for me to be more God conscious. I need to remember Him more. I need to remember Him both in my good and my bad times, because sometimes I think we're all guilty of this. When things are going good, we forget about God. But when things are going bad, we always remember Him. And all of us have good karma and bad karma. So that maybe that was actually a part in my journey that I needed to repay someone for something that I borrowed something from somebody. I borrowed money from somebody and I needed to pay it back and I never did. So I just took it as that. There are so many different lessons that I took from that whole situation. And it's good for us to analyze our own situations, our own lives, go into an internal journey, delve deeper within, get to know yourselves, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, work on those weaknesses, make it your strengths. And with the strengths as well, just be grateful. Help others. Don't laugh at others. I think there's too many people out there that mock other people without helping them. But they don't realize that they also have their own problems. But it feels good laughing at the next person. It makes you forget about your own problems. But be kind to one another. I think this world needs more kindness. It needs more love. And only then it will give out this ripple effect. When you throw a stone in a pool of water, the ripples go out. It's the same like that. You throw a positive word, it will ripple out. You throw a bad word, a negative word, it will ripple out. So more kindness, more love, more appreciation, more reciprocation. Don't just be a taker, be a giver. It's good to give gifts. It's good to receive gifts. Balance it out. Don't just give. And when people also, want to reciprocate with you, they want to give you a gift, receive it with a grateful heart. So it's good to give and receive. It's also one of the 6 loving exchanges in Vedic culture as well. So thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if there's anything else that you would love to learn from me or my speakers, please do get in touch with me. And I'm sorry that I neglected you for over a month. I've been very, very tired recently, especially after having COVID last year. My body is getting tired more than it used to be. So I'm just giving myself time to recover nicely. And if I feel like, I cannot do today, I take a break. And I'm also very grateful that I have so many wonderful people in my community, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's any of the podcast channels. I'm just very grateful that all of you are still remaining here, still supporting me. And if there's any way I can support you, please do get in touch. I will leave the link in the bottom. You can just click on it and get in touch with me. I'll be very happy to have a conversation with you. And just looking forward to learning and growing with all of you. Sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. Bye-bye. If you resonate with our content, like, follow, subscribe, and leave us a review. We're always happy to hear from Mindful Trinity family. Are you looking for chemical-free products to enhance your well-being? Then look no further. Purification Essential Oil is most known for its ability to neutralize odors. However, this blend has other therapeutic benefits as well. Applied topically, it also soothes minor skin irritations and abrasions. It also cleanses and purifies the skin while restoring natural pH balance. I add a few drops to my humidifier. It produces a clean, invigorating aroma, clears the air of unwanted odors, freshens musty and stale areas with its lively scent, and it contains lavender, an ingredient that helps clean and purify the air. Click the link in my bio or on the link below to qualify for the discount, and don't forget to punch in the discounted code.